Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I'm the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Dallas in the house, everybody. It's been a little bit. I'm back, and I know Dallas had he was an extra in a movie, so he had to cancel the last show that we had. So super excited to hear about that. But I am back, everybody. Glad to be back. Missed you all. So we're going to get right into it. Everybody, as you know, as I always say, be careful who you listen to, who you follow, and what you're putting into your brain because it is wackadoodle out there. So if you can't handle it, stay out of the chats, stay out of the comments, whatever it may be. Get the hell out of there, okay? Because I'm telling you, it's going to get more insane, and it's wild. It's wild. So I will do it for you. If you can't handle, I'm sitting in these spaces. I'm sitting in these chats. I'm listening for what kind of BS that they're putting out there. So please, everybody, if you don't have a strong mind, stay out of the noise. Everybody just stay out of the noise in general, because a lot of it is BS, because there's more positive out there and that we are winning than there is negative. So it's all the negative is just noise, noise, noise. It's the minutia. Stay out of it. So stick and stay, everybody, with the 3 to 5 people that haven't led you wrong through the course of your journey here, because more than likely they are going to get you over the hump. And we are almost there, everybody. Hang in there. I can't tell you, hang in there with a big positive smile on your face, because we need to have those vibes high, because we are coming into amazing days. And we truly, if you're not paying attention, which I know many of you are, but those that aren't, they're missing the whole biblical part of this. Remember, it is biblical, everybody, what we are going through. So pat yourselves on the back, everybody, that you're still here, you're still listening, and you're still wanting to know truth, because you guys are going to be the ones that people are going to be coming to here very, very soon. Also, to everybody, we are making a lot of noise, positive noise. We are being listened to in over 100 countries. So please, if you're not following us on any of the social medias or the podcast host, please do so you can get the latest updates on the podcast. And those are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. Social medias are Jenny Jeread Facebook, at Jenny_Jeread X, at JJeread Rumble, at JJeread True Social, at JJeread Instagram, The Revival of America right here on Telegram, The Revival of America over on YouTube, and then at the official JJeread on TikTok, which you all know by now. I'm horrible over there, but I'm trying to do better. I'm also, everybody, going to encourage all of you as well as myself. I do have an account over on True Social. If you don't, please go create one. I'm going to make it an effort to make a bigger presence over there, because that is Donald Trump's True Social, as we all know. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more happening with True Social, Truth Plus, with the way things are going to go with the media, social media, and all that fun stuff. So I highly encourage you, if you're not over there, go get over there. And if you're just wondering who to follow because you're so confused on who to follow and what to listen to and what not listen to, if anything, first of all, eyes on God, follow God, and then go follow Donald Trump's True Social, because he puts out so much over there, guys. And basically it's a timestamp of what he's doing, right? He's telling us without telling us. He's not as cryptic and coded anymore. He still is, because you can't give your enemy your next move when you're in war, right? But at the end of the day, he is being more upfront with us. I think he's always been upfront with us and telling us, but he just can't tell us directly. And unless you know how he speaks and understand all that, you're not going to get it. You're going to kind of think, what is he saying, right? So, but he's being more upfront and kind of direct and telling us what is going on. So please, if you're not following him and you want to know who to follow, go follow his True Social. Also, too, everybody's been asking me about John Baxter. John Baxter should be back here within the next week or so. He has been writing a book. He's been making a lot of great changes over there at his facilities. So a lot of that takes some time. So he took a little bit of a hiatus like I did. I think he maybe took a little bit of a vacation, as we all should, clear our minds. So he should be back with us here within the next week or so. Also, too, for the ones that are asking about Phil McConnell, he is back. He did his first show on Monday. It was great. He is healing from his head wound very well. So he will be back again on Monday. He's back on his Monday shows. And those of you that want the books are now available to the public, everybody. He has mass produced them, and we are getting them out there to you. We are shipping them out every Friday. So if you want to purchase the books, the set of books of 4 for Field, they're in the set of books, or you can do them individually. Reach out to me at the Revival of America at yahoo.com. gmail.com. I will let you know. I'll need your address, your email, and I'll give you the links of where you can make your payment. I have it on the wall as well. So if you just want to look at that post, you can go through that and check that out also. To everybody, Silk is going to be on my X Space tonight. You don't want to miss that one. She's going to be talking about the movie she was just in, Pardon Me. It is the real story of Bevelyn Williams, how she was wrongfully um, uh, jailed by the Biden administration for peacefully protesting over there in New York. She was protesting when they decided to say that you could abort babies up to 9 months. So she came out and she did a movie on it, and I'm excited for Silk to be able to come and talk about that. So come check us out. That's gonna be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. SG and On will be here tomorrow, everybody. So check that out, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Carrie Casey will be on Friday. And then also, everybody, check out the website. It's new and improved, therevivalofamerica.com. We've got Field's page up there, the children's page up there. Carrie has a page. John has a page. Brian from Brain Health IQ. So check that out, because what Rick is doing over there with his partner and teaming up with the Maha Initiative. His partner just had dinner with RFK Jr. the other day, and next week we are going to unload on the Maha report that they have been given by the RFK team over there. So of what's happening, what's going to be happening. Very exciting stuff, everybody. It sounds to me like we're going to be seeing a lot of our new food and ingredients and stuff here coming the new year. I myself read labels every once in a while. I do it pretty often. So, and I'm seeing a lot of our food already changing. So this is exciting stuff, everybody. And all of his all natural supplements that he has, they're all natural. So the color that you see, that's the color of the product that they use, whether they have apple in it, hemp, whatever it is. There's no dyes, there's nothing in it. So that's super, super exciting. And that's one of the things that that was a promise to myself with the podcast. I was going to be bringing on people with all natural products. So get excited for that, everybody. We are moving really quickly into this new world, and it's so exciting to see. And so many are missing it by just staying in that minutia and that noise. It's bullshit. Excuse my language, but straight up bullshit. Also, if you have a story or a journey, everybody, we're going to be reaching out. I do have an assistant now. I am hiring a team. Going to be reaching out to those of you that sent your stories and getting in touch with you. We do vet these stories because unfortunately we do have the shysters too that like to go just pretend like they're somebody and have a fake story just to get on a podcast. So we will vet them. We will reach out to you, and it will be you that will tell your story, your journey, because it's more authentic coming from you. As much as I love and adore your stories and I hold them close to my heart, I would really love for you guys to tell your story. I know some people get nervous. I'll tell it for you if you want me to, but it's more real coming from you. So remember, it's your voice, your story is going to help change this new world that we are coming into as well. Also, too, I want to tell you, for those of you that are familiar with Rubber Duck, he has become a good friend of mine through this movement. He has been on my show, and he is going to start coming back on my show again. He has been scammed with his XRP, everybody. A couple days ago, somebody scammed him, took all of his XRP. Somebody pretending to be like somebody that they knew what they were talking about. I'm trying to get the full story, and I may have him come on and talk about it. But this is what I'm talking about, everybody. You got to be careful of these people. They are scamming people out of their livelihoods, their XRP, whatever it is, your crypto. Please be careful. And if you are doing anything, I believe, for me, I use Uphold. I've never had an issue. We have Troy that comes on and talks about it. But don't just listen to any fly by night that's reaching out to you or anything. I don't care how smart they sound. Just go to somebody like Dallas, like Troy. If you have questions for me, it's not really my lane. I know enough to tell you that's a red flag, or yeah, go for it. But Troy is really good at that. I know Rob Cunningham is really good at that. Please be careful, because unfortunately, Rubber Duck got scammed and he's not happy about it. But these are the kind of things I'm trying to protect you guys from, including myself. Hence why I do what I do with my channel. I make it private. If you're here, we welcome you. We're glad you're here. I encourage you to stay, because if you come in and then you leave to request to come back in, that's a red flag to me, and then you get banned and removed from the channel. Now we do make exceptions. If you don't know, that's how I run my channel. Reach out to me, let me know. I'll reinstate you to get back on the channel. But I do that because of these exact reasons, and it's happening more often than not, everybody. Not everybody's a troll. I get it, but it's better for me to be safe than sorry, because I don't want them to come at you, come at me, or my guests. So please, if that's happened to any of you or anybody you know, please reach out to me, and I'll look into it and reinstating you and getting it back into the channel here. So with that, everybody, with the submissions, if you have the story, the journey to tell, please send those to troasubmissions@yahoo.com. And again, we'll reach out to you and get you guys on the show. And without further ado, as SGNon always says, what's up, Mr. Dallas? How are you, stranger? Hit the blue button.
Oh, it's
Dallas,
not. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, something changed. It's going to make me continue to push the button.
Oh
That's
my.
not cool.
So are you in your car, or are you on your desktop?
I'm in my car, but that's never, I mean, that hasn't happened in a year.
Ruh-roh. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. That's going to change things. Golly. Yeah, I'm good. I'm in line
For your
to
daughters?
pick up my youngest daughter. Yeah, so our schedule changed. So my oldest daughter is going to school at like 6:30 in the morning because she's made the volleyball team and they practice in the mornings. And then she rides the bus home. But my youngest daughter, my wife takes my youngest daughter to school, and then I pick my youngest daughter up. So it's just things change, but it's all good. It's one of the great joys that 2020, the pandemic brought me was it forced me to be at home and be with my kids and pick them up and take them to school and hang out with them. And it's literally become one of the greatest joys of my life. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, but that being said, probably around 3:40 ish, I'm going to transition from my car, out of my car. For some reason, it never lets me continue. I can't get the audio. Like the audio doesn't work. So I'll have to leave. I'll tell you before I do it, but I'll have to leave and come back in. And
Okay.
maybe then it'll let me not hold the button down for the next 90 minutes. But
All right, no worries. We got you. No worries at all. I was just telling the audience that we were going to do a show, but you couldn't. You had to reschedule because you were offered a extra part in a movie. So do you want to tell the audience a little bit about that? I think that's super cool. Hit the blue button. Hello.
it's
Can you
like
hear?
when I push it, it's not holding it. So let me see if I can figure that out real quick. Hold on one second.
Okay. All right, everybody, while we wait for Dallas to come back, if you guys have questions for Dallas, I keep forgetting to say this. Please put your questions underneath his picture on the wall. I'll repost it because I think I posted a few things underneath it. Or if you want to raise your hand and ask Dallas a question, you guys are welcome to do that as well. I will call on you, and we will have you ask your question to Dallas. Another thing that I would like to let you guys know while we're waiting for Dallas, another thing to look for, everybody, when you're looking at these people on who to follow, okay? So it's consistency, the consistency of what they say, the consistency of their guests, and if they're flip-flopping, going to the next thing, like, okay, I like this person now, he's great, he's great, he's great. And then all of a sudden they're going to the next best, following somebody different. They're saying something about that person. They don't like that person anymore. So we have a lot of people that are doing it. And unfortunately, I know many that are doing it, and you just got to be careful with that, because if they're flip-flopping like that, then that's just that's not consistent. That shows that they're just looking to try to be relevant, or they're clout chasers, right? They're going to the next best thing. So please, everybody, be careful about that, because myself and a few others that I am close to, we have experienced that on a personal level in the sense of somebody we thought might be, solid, but now it's just clout chasing, right? They're going to the next best thing. So please be careful. I am being told, and I will let you know this, and I'm proud to say it, and you guys should be proud too because you're here, you're consistent in coming here and wanting to learn. So we are being told that we are on the right track. We're talking to the right people, and we're in good hands over here, buddy. So that has been told to me several times from some very, very reliable people that many of you know and probably listen to. So hang tight with us, everybody. We're moving forward, and sounds like Dallas is back. So go ahead, Dallas. Can you hear?
Yeah, I think I got it figured out. I just had to double tap it.
You sound great.
So, yeah, it's. I don't even know if I'll appear in it, but it's Dr. J, who I wouldn't say co-pastor because he's very much the head pastor, but he and I, do essential church together. He's the executive producer of a new movie being filmed in the same studio where they filmed The Chosen, called He Walked on Water, I think is the name of the movie. And I just did, I just did some background stuff. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to appear in it or not, but it was fun. It was fun to be around and hang out and support Dr. J. So I would guess probably a year to two before it's released. But yeah, it was a cool event. It was a cool experience. I've done extra work in the past. I actually got cast to be a main extra in Varsity Blues when I was 20 years old, but I was still actively playing collegiate football, and that would have made me a professional, and I would have been ineligible to play NCAA football. So I had to turn down the role, which, in hindsight, maybe I should have taken the role, but because now NCAA players get paid millions of dollars to transfer schools. But
Yeah, but you're where God wants you right here, my friend.
oh, 100%. And, it's been you've had a busy couple of weeks, obviously school getting back in the swing of things last weekend. Well, this Monday was my oldest daughter's 13th birthday. So I officially have a teenager. But Saturday I had two shows. So I work for two different companies. I have the company I own, which is Ephesians Pro Wrestling, which is my ministry. And then I am a executive producer for another company called TSW, which stands for Texas Style Wrestling. And we are going to hit TV in September. I think September 13th is the first episode in the Texas markets on CW 33. CW 33. But I was with TSW from, 10 o'clock in the morning until 6:30. I wrestled with my best friend. And then I jumped in the car and I drove 20 minutes to Ephesians Pro Wrestling. I got there right after the start of the show and then wrestled in the main event to defend my heavyweight title, which I unfortunately did not retain. But and then Sunday, our really, really good friends, like, how, well, I don't know if you know, but when you have children and they play sports, those become your friends, the parents of the other players. And we have developed really.
Oh, we lost you. We can't hear you, Dallas. Can you hear me? Bueller. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. He'll have to come back in, Dallas. We can't hear you. You may have to go back out and come back in. He's probably talking away. Dallas, we can't hear you. Wow, everybody, what a story. All my guests are becoming movie stars. What's up with that? Like, that's super cool. I'm anxious to ask him about this series that he's going to do. That's super cool, everybody. Exciting. See, even new movie stars are popping up. Wow. Silk, Dallas, like, wow. This is awesome. All right, Dallas, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. All right, hang on, guys. He just popped out. He's gonna come back in. So everybody, start raising your hands, and we will unmute your mic. Go ahead, Dallas. Push the blue button. I think you jinxed yourself the other day when you texted me and said, I may be popping in and out. And well, here you are, popping in and out. Can't hear you, Dallas. Oh, I know that's so frustrating, everybody. Hang in there. We will figure it out, I promise. But anyway, this is super cool, everybody. Super, super cool. All right, try again, Dallas. Sing us a song.
Okay. Sorry. My dumb phone disconnected from CarPlay, and when it does that, I can't hear anything. Like I can't. It's really dumb. But
I hate CarPlay, by the way. I hate CarPlay. I have that same issue.
But did you guys hear the kind of the rundown of the weekend and birthday and all that stuff?
Yeah, we did. And I wanted to ask you, because I'm all about people's stories and journeys, right? So tell the audience before we get into it, because I know everybody wants to talk a little bit about, obviously, the RV and stuff and what you know, but tell us a little bit about your journey here. I mean, I was just telling the audience, how cool is this that our, my guests that are coming on here, they're becoming movie stars, you and Silk. Like, this is super cool. Talk to us about the series that you're about ready to do. That's freaking awesome. How did that come about?
Well, so I've worked for this company, TSW, Texas Style Wrestling, for 3 years. I've been an executive producer for them in the background because we've been filming like we were going to be on TV the whole time, because that's been the goal. And we officially our first episode airs September 13th on CW 33 in all the major Texas markets. And the goal is in the next 3 years to expand that to probably 100 to 150 markets across the country. And it just, I've been on TV before, and it's always a little bit suspicious, right? When somebody has an IMDb page, but I was in a documentary about wrestling 25 years ago. Like I said, I got cast to be an extra in the movie Varsity Blues, the high school football movie way back when, but I had to not take the opportunity because it would have violated my NCAA rules. But I've been in, I've through wrestling, I've been afforded a lot of really cool opportunities. I've been on TV several times. I've wrestled for the WWE probably 12 or 14 times over my career, and this is just back from like 2002 to 2008. We wrestled for a company here in Dallas that was called EPW, or not, that's my company. It's called PCW, Professional Championship Wrestling, and we were on UPN 21 every Saturday night at 11 o'clock, which is pretty cool because we'd wrestle and then we go to Chili's or whatever and eat dinner, and then we would show up on TV. And that's a cool experience when you're sitting watching, you're eating dinner at a restaurant and you're like, oh, that's me. But I've had a very fortunate career. And this is just another phase. What's even crazier is that we got called yesterday by a Christian television company that now wants to broadcast my Ephesians Pro Wrestling broadcasts on Roku and Apple TV. So you might be able to see me on TV 2 or 3 different times a week in the very near future. So it's pretty cool. It's God is moving, and that's, if I can share anything, even RV related, God is moving all around us, and he doesn't always move in the way we want and the time we want, but he is always moving, and we just, if we learn to hear his voice, he doesn't yell and scream. Sometimes he will if we're about to do something real stupid, but usually it's just a still small voice, and if you learn to hear it, he is always moving, and he's always with us, and it's just really, really cool things that are starting to happen, and it kind of tells me that all of the other pieces of this puzzle are about to come into, we're down to 3 or 4 pieces, and it's a big puzzle. I mean, it's a giant puzzle, and we're down to the last couple of pieces from my perspective of this blessing really coming to fruition. Again, time-wise, I don't have a definitive date, and anybody that says they do, I'm almost 100% positive they're making it up. But I thought this month was going to be a really pivotal month, which it has been, just not necessarily in the way that we want, right? But I think September is going to be a big month. There's all kinds of talk about September 1st, like really through the 1st through the 15th. I've seen some legitimate things. I'm expecting a call this afternoon from one of my contacts on the bond side. I'm hoping that they're getting the go-ahead to, like, because money has moved in certain pockets, and I've shared that. I mean, that's been the case for weeks and weeks and weeks, but it just hasn't been accessible. It's kind of like if somebody, if Jennifer, Jen sent me $10,000, well, the bank would hold it, right? It would show up on my account, but it would say pending, and I wouldn't have access to it until they release it. Well, that's basically what the bondholders at the highest level, that's what they've been stared at for weeks, if not months. I mean, maybe up to a year at certain levels. And I think we're almost to that stage where they get told that they're going to release the funds, and that way money will be liquid. And it starts at the very, very top and it has to trickle down, because that's how this whole thing gets funded, all the way down to the currency side of things, and the GCR, the global currency reset, and the RV of Iraq, and Vietnam, and all, Zimbabwe. I mean, all the currencies, all the countries we've been watching. And so it's really exciting. And, in my somewhat short life, I mean, I turned 50 in this next month in September, but in my short life, I've been very blessed and fortunate to experience a whole lot of crazy things, and not all of them are good. I've had a lot of bad, a lot of catastrophe and ups and downs, but I've also been very, very blessed to get to do and to meet and be around some really, really, really cool people. And I'm so excited for what's to come. And I really am, as frustrated as I am sometimes internally. I try not to show it externally very much, but internally I get really, really frustrated sometimes that this process is so labored and it's so slow. But, it's kind of like the Heinz 57 commercial back in the day. Good things come to those who wait. Those are some of my favorite commercials, when they put the ketchup bottle on the top of the building, then they'd run down the 5 flights of stairs and get down just in time for a perfect little dollop of ketchup to hit their hot dog. I think that's where we are, right? Good things come to those who wait, and patience is a virtue. I'm not very good at it, but boy, God is teaching me left and right. But I'm excited, and to your point, I've been very blessed. I've been very fortunate. Not everything has always panned out the way I thought it was going to, but I am excited where we are.
Well, it just kind of goes in line with what everything we're seeing happening, all the winning that we're doing, right? Derek Johnson was on the other night, and everything that he's been saying out there is coming together. This puzzle, like you say, is coming together. And everybody, he's right when he says it's a huge puzzle, not just in the financial or the RV, whatever it is, or it's a huge puzzle. So I'm excited to hear that you're excited, because I know the frustration gets there with a lot of people, but I try to always stay in the positive, because I sit back and I look at all this stuff, and people really truly, with all the BS that they're putting out there, they're missing the greatest time to be alive and the whole biblical part of it. So thank you for those encouraging words, and I want to congratulate you, Dallas, on all your hard work that you're doing. It's well deserved that we're gonna be seeing you. Oh, okay, so we're gonna be seeing you more on TV than just every day at noon with PPN. We're gonna see you now wrestling. Is that what we're going to see you doing, wrestling?
Yeah, you're gonna see me on Roku. You're gonna see me on Apple TV. You're gonna see me on CW33 in the Texas market. At least in the beginning. But yeah, it's exciting. It's funny. I've been telling people more and more because we started broadcasting live on our shows every 2 weeks, and on our YouTube channel, which is Ephesians Pro Wrestling, our Facebook page, which is Ephesians Pro Wrestling, and you can go to the website EphesiansProWrestling.org and follow everything, right? But we're really picking up some steam. We had a record attendance at our show this last weekend, which was actually a memorial show for one of our parents. We've had a kids program for about 7 years, and it's really evolved over the last 3 or 4 years to where now it's a full-time thing where we have anywhere from 25 to 30 kids aging from ranges 5 to 15 that train every Sunday, and they learn the basics of professional wrestling. I mean, they're not jumping off the top rope and doing flips and stuff like that, but they're just, how do you lock up? What is the mechanics? What is the psychology? How do you tell a story through this physical art form that we love so much, which is professional wrestling? But yet we also spend 30 minutes pouring into them spiritually, right? There's a Bible study every week. There's a memory verse that they have to memorize and recite in order to get in the ring. And one of the parents of the kids several years ago was dying of cancer, and at one of the shows that we had for her children, and she was watching her kids, and at the end of the show, she prayed to receive Christ right there in what we call the Lordatorium. It's our venue that we do our shows in. And then unfortunately, about 5 days later, she passed away, but she also got to see both of her kids accept Christ, get baptized. She accepted Christ, was baptized. Her husband accepted Christ and was baptized all before she passed away. And so every year we have a memorial show in honor of her. Her name is Angie, or was. And that's what this show was. It was our annual memorial show to her. But it really is a testament to pouring out, and giving to others. And our kids program is growing. I mean, it's really profound what's happening. These kids, who some of them have horrible home lives, some of them, have been bullied at school, and they're not the biggest, baddest athlete, but they love wrestling, and they get to literally live their childhood dream. They're still children, unlike my opportunity. I was 25 when I started wrestling professionally, but it's been really profound to see the impact that we're having, and we're really diving into our community and giving back as much as we're taking. As much as God is blessing us, we're trying to bless others. And we have sponsorships and things like that. And we got our first monthly sponsor that happened yesterday. And we're it's $250 a month, which doesn't sound like a lot sometimes. I mean, to me, it's a done, but that puts us in the black every month. And now we don't have to worry about paying rent and keeping the lights on. We have that covered, and that $250 put us over the mark, right? And so now we can give back even more. And it's really awesome what God is doing.
Well, I want to say congratulations to you, and you're doing great work. And I'm going to throw something at you here when you're talking about your kids group. I would be really interested in talking to you on the backside, because I have a kids cast. It's called Little Voices Kids Cast. It's a podcast for kids. I would love to get with you to talk to you about maybe some of your kids over there coming on and doing a podcast for the kids, and talk about their story, their journey, and how they got into where they're at with you now. And I would love to do that, because this kids cast is all about getting kids back peer to peer, being kids again, right? Because they lost so much of that through COVID. And
Yep.
so, yeah, maybe you and I can talk about that on the backside, and we can bring some amazing stories to the public from our kids, because remember, it's all about the kids. I would absolutely love to talk to you more about that.
Absolutely. And in the kids show, we have three kids shows a year, which we broadcast. We're going to up it to 4 this next year in 2026. So once a semester, once a quarter. But the kids give the testimony, the kids give the gospel presentation and the invitation at the end. And I will tell you from personal experience, and you know this, being in any kind of like public speaking environment, that's a really, really hard thing to do, to get up in front of, I mean, we had 300 people at our last kids show, getting up in front of 300 people and talking, right? Wrestling is hard enough, but getting up and talking and sharing your testimony and sharing the gospel presentation. We've taken our kids to some of our kids' camps this last year that we've done, and the kids have given their testimony. And so I would love to do that, because anytime you can empower somebody. And that's maybe what is so cool about what you're doing, Jenny, is when you can empower somebody to let their voice be heard and know that it's respected and that it's encouraged. That does so much to boost their self-confidence and their self-worth. And that's our number one goal with our kids program. It's not to, foster future professional wrestlers necessarily, but it's to give them empowerment, and it's to empower them to believe in themselves and to have confidence and the courage to speak out about their faith and about their walk with Christ. So absolutely, let's get together and we can definitely set that up.
Oh my gosh, I just got the chills. I love what you just said. They do a scripture. I love that. Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. All right, everybody. We're going to hand it over to you guys now. So please raise your hands if you have questions for Dallas. Otherwise, he and I could just chat all day. But yeah, please raise your hands, everybody. The open mic, everybody. We want to hear your voices too, and you guys can ask your questions to Dallas. So I got two people raising their hands right here. So go ahead, DJ Jetson. Your mic is unmuted. Ask Dallas your question.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all, this is exciting about the kids, but let me tell you what I'm seeing about the kids. I'm a retired school teacher, and please don't hold that against me.
Oh, no.
The kids today are coming in with a knowingness that is very different than my generation or y'all, any other generation. And the leadership skills that those have encourage the ones who don't, but are on the cusp of having it. And once they start, y'all are going to be so blessed. It's going to be amazing. But Jenny, I just wanted to say one thing: you can't fix stupid. And Dallas, keep up the good work. But gosh, buddy, you're burning it both ends. I mean, that candle's got to be kind of just a little bit of wax there. Thank you, guys.
Oh, it's a puddle.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Hold on. She said you can't fix stupid. Who are you talking about?
When you're telling us not to watch certain people and stuff, you just can't fix stupid.
Amen, sister.
Not you two. Yeah, but you just, people have got to get in these rooms and just go, I'm not listening to this. And Jenny, I will say, lots of times we're all dealing with car play, get in and out of the car and that sort of thing. So if you ever think I'm trolling, I'm not smart enough to know how to do that. But thank you.
Oh no,
you're
you're good, sweetie. So it's not necessarily when you're here in the live chat. It's when you request to join the channel, then you leave the channel to request the join the main channel again. So it's not necessarily when you're here in the live chat. I get it. People get phone calls. Happens to me all the time. So it's when people want to come into the channel and then they leave to come back in. Like, no, that's a red flag. So you're good, DJ. You're great. Thank you for coming up.
Well, and let me add one other little tiny comment. When death happens, we have got to teach people about death and how to respond to it instead of families skirting around it, whether or not it's on a podcast or if it's in real life, dealing with an illness or COVID or whatever and going to hospice and the different channels that we've got to go. And I think there again, that's where the kids are going to help us. And that's it. I just needed to kind of add that because I was specifically thinking about a couple of rooms. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DJ. I appreciate that. Love that you came up. All right. Let's see. Barb, is it raining? Your mic is unmuted. Rainig, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Barb. Push the blue button. There you go.
Okay. Hi. I wanted to ask a question about the stock market. I know that they had mentioned it was going to crash. Do you still think it's going to crash at any point, or is it?
I do, but I don't think it's going to be as catastrophic as they originally, kind of the fear mongering that we witnessed in the very beginning.
Right.
Again, it goes back to Jenny, and you gotta be careful who you listen to, right? If they say the stock market's going to crash, and oh, by the way, in order to save all your money, move it to this product or buy this trust. Like, if they sell something immediately after they tell you something that's scary, then it's just fear mongering, and they're just trying to get your money, right? Is my take on it, because I've watched it in person for 5 years now, and it just, sometimes they say the most ridiculous things, and then they immediately follow it up with some kind of sales pitch, and it just frustrates me to no end. The market is going to reset. Most of these companies, look back over the last 5 years, how many CEOs have resigned or died or have sold their companies, right? Jeff Bezos is the first one that comes to my mind, right? He steps down from the leadership of Amazon when Amazon is literally one of the biggest companies in the world. Who does that? Nobody does that, right? I mean, he stepped down because he was removed. And I think most of these companies are being redistributed and restructured from the inside out. And so will there be a dip? Yes. I mean, will the market go down? But the market is going to be restructured and rebuilt, because we don't need the market, but the market is a really important part of our economy and really the world economy. And there's so many new companies and new technologies and new opportunities for investment that are going to come out, and we're going to be able to reinvest our money, right? So your money might take a little bit of a hit, but we'll have opportunities to regrow it. And we're going to have opportunities to regrow it in ways that have never existed before. And finally, we, the people, the average Joe Schmo investor, is going to have an opportunity to take part in some of these huge gains that most of these people, most of us didn't have access to when, IBM became huge, when Apple became huge, these companies, because really the only ones that made money were the ones that were able to invest on an institutional level. And I think when the market is restructured, it's going to take away all of the kind of backdoor deals and leverages that the elites had. We're all going to have access to it. So will the market take a dip? Yes. It might be pretty big, but, one of the things that I wish Trump, and I know why he does it, because he kind of has to, but when he touts that we're hitting all-time highs, I mean, I think the market was at 48,000 the other day. It was never designed to be that high. Right? The market is really designed to fluctuate between, 10 and 15,000, maybe 20,000 at the high mark. Well, we're more than 200% above the high mark it was designed to function at. So when it restructures, it's going to go down, but we're going to have all kinds of opportunities. Think about, the 6,000 patents that are going to be released at some point. RFK Jr., Jenny talked about at the very beginning. These companies are restructuring, and they're going to become healthier, and they're going to become more productive and more profitable. Because we're going to know that we're buying healthy stuff. And, the 6,000 patents that are going to come out, think about, I read an article the other day, we've been studying cancer for 200 years. We don't have a vaccine for cancer. AIDS, there's not a vaccine for AIDS, but yet we developed a vaccine for a fictitious, COVID illness in 10 months, right? It doesn't make sense. And there are cures for cancer. Well, what happens when those get released? Right? Those companies are going to be publicly traded, and we're going to have access to them. We're going to be able to buy into them. And, I think that's one of the things that Trump is talking about, when he launched, the Truth Social public release, and the new, I can't think of what it's called right now, but the the American People's Fund or whatever they call it, there's going to be opportunities for us to reallocate our funds within the market, and we'll be able to gain it back. 2008, 2009 was the largest largest crash in U.S. stock market history. But what very few people realize was that it was one asset class that crashed. It wasn't the entire market. It was the U.S. large cap, facilitated by the junk bonds that the FCC or the whatever that organization is, that they approved them as AAA bonds. But if you just left your money alone, it took 4 years for you to get back to even. And then in the 5th year, if you left your money alone and you just left it where it was, you had 135% gain in that 5th year. So not only did you get all of your money back, but you had an increase of 135%. Most people didn't know that because they weren't paying attention, and they panicked and they moved their money to cash, or they pulled their money out of the market. When the market goes down, unless you were in dire need, in dire straits, just leave it alone, because it will come back, is my honest, both personal and financial, background knowledge, is that it's going to come back, and we're going to have new opportunities to reallocate our funds within those. No. But we are going to see a dip. That's a long answer to a fairly simple question, but I wanted to give some context around it as well.
Did you mean
I really appreciate that. I pulled out when Biden got in office, and I haven't gotten back in yet. So I'm really following people like you, not necessarily people that are trying to get me to invest in something else. So I just was curious.
Yeah, when it happens. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Jenny.
No, did you mean to say the SEC when you were talking about the bonds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, the SEC.
No, you're good.
Because they took all those junk bonds and they got bribed into making labeling them AAA bonds. Well, there's nothing AAA about it. You were letting people in California that made $40,000 a year buy not one but multiple million-dollar houses. Well, there's no way they're going to be able to pay them off. And then they took them and they lumped them together in blocks. And then the SEC said, "Oh, those are AAA bonds." They weren't, because they knew they were going to fail. So once all that corruption is weeded out, and all those loopholes, the Bushes, right? The day before, where was Trump? The Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania. Is that where?
Yeah.
He got shot in the air. The day before Butler, Pennsylvania, the Bushes and the Cheneys, and they have a huge investment firm. They sold every last option that they had in DJT's Truth Social stock, because they thought, well, if he gets killed, it's going to tank, right? Because they planned his assassination. And then a week later, they went back to the SEC and said, "Oops, that was a clerical error. We want all of those options back." And because the SEC is corrupt, they were allowed to get all those options back. They thought they were going to work the market, and then he didn't die, and so they went back. That kind of stuff is why the market is so corrupt, and that kind of stuff is what they're weeding out right now with all the people that Trump is putting in position. So.
Thank you, Dallas.
Great.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
All right. Mike Hanner, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
I'll be in just a second.
Are you guys there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Quick question. So there's a lot of talk about Social Security going up after this happens, but what about the people that aren't on Social Security, they're retired from railroad pensions and stuff like that don't get an option? Is that going to go up too, or can you think of anything?
Yeah, because we're going to get, he's changed the name a few times, but originally they were kind of like Doge rebate checks, and now they're being referred to as the tariff rebate checks. But everybody, especially in retirement, everybody is going to get an increase, one way or the other. But yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey Jenny, I'm gonna get out of my car. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna
Okay.
leave the room. I'll come back in. So give me just like, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds.
You're impressive. All right, I'm counting. Get going.
All right. Bye.
We'll see you in a second. All right, guys. If you guys have questions, I see some hands continuing to be raised, so I will unmute your mics and you can ask Dallas your question. So hang in there, buddy. He'll be back with us, and then when he comes back on, Linda Hendrickson, you can go ahead and ask him your question when he comes back on. Also, too, everybody, I want to let you know Warren is going to be coming on the show. He reached out to me the other day. I've been trying to get him on. He's going to come on probably within the next couple of weeks because he's going to be out of town for some kind of tour, stay awake tour or something like that. I don't know. So he will be coming back on. He will be coming back on the show. So I'm really excited about that. All right, go ahead, Dallas. I see ya.
Yeah, I'm back in.
Damn, you're quick.
I told you. It screwed me up so many times. I've kind of figured it out. I have to leave the room, close the app, get out of my car, and then reopen the app, and then it works. But I can't just make the adjustment with it open. So
Well, you sound even better. So go ahead, Linda. Ask your question to Dallas.
Hi. First, I love both of your stories on what you're doing for kids. Absolutely love it. And I wanted to ask Dallas, what is his thoughts on Camp Mystic and the connection with the Bushes?
ask that one more time.
What do you think what's your thoughts on Camp Mystic and the connection with Bushes?
Well, I mean, I've read all kinds of weird things. It has been in a camp that's been around for 100 years, and it's primarily been a camp for the elites. There's a picture of, it's kind of crazy, but there's a picture I've seen, and it's hard to verify, right? Because you're like, well, it kind of looks like him, but there's a picture of J.D. Vance, Epstein, and somebody else at that camp at the same time, right? All the Bush girls went there. George Bush, Jr. went there as a kid. So why they picked that one? Maybe they picked that one because they knew it was going to get a lot of publicity. But I don't know all the details. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it is very suspicious to me that that so many elites. I mean, the last 3 governors of Texas all went to that camp when they were young, right? Which kind of goes to show you that most of the people that have been in charge in this country for the last 100 or 200 years, they were picked. We talk about voter integrity. They have been manipulating the votes for 60 plus years. The last 10 presidents, 10, maybe the last 8 presidents, they were picked, and they weren't picked by we the people. They were picked by the people in charge. That's why Barack Obama is a distant cousin of the Bushes. How crazy is that? The little girl that did a school project, back in 2021 or 2022, found out that every president since Washington has been related except for Trump and one other one. I maybe Franklin. I can't remember, but there are only 2 presidents that haven't been directly related. Like, that is suspicious to me.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Linda. All right, Miss Cal, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi. I know this isn't your wheelhouse, Dallas, but I'm trying to find somebody to make sense of this to me. On this XRP, when they say there's only so many coins, and we know it's the future of moving money with gold and silver, if a lot of people haven't purchased any, how are they going to be able to experience having this XRP?
Well, two reasons, or 2 ways, right? One, the cap is based off of like participation, right? So I don't know what I would have to look on an exchange, but I want to say the cap for XRP is like 27 million or something like that. I've read a bunch of articles here recently that again, on the institutional side of things, so like the big wigs, they can dump $1 million, $2 million, $10 million, $100 million into an investment. They have been purchasing XRP on the back end of this thing. And when XRP is announced as the, the primary transfer mechanism for the new financial system, all of those kind of blacked out purchases are going to be dumped into the system, and that's why you're going to see XRP jump up, kind of like Bitcoin did back in the day. But the total volume is going to have to increase. If it's going to be the primary mechanism, then it's going to have to equal in reserves the total amount of currency. And so, right now I think there's something like 700 million or $700 trillion of currency in the world. And that's all currencies. That's not US currency, that's all currencies. If XRP is the primary mechanism that we're going to use to move money from place A to place B, then that total volume is going to have to increase. And ultimately what I think is going to happen is people are going to be, you're going to do a transaction, and if it goes into the digital, if it's a digital transaction, you're going to be given XRP, right? Like when it shows up in your account, it's going to show up as XRP. So you might not have purchased it, but if you sold a house and somebody used Bitcoin, or Bitcoin is a generic term in my mind, but a digital currency to buy the house, well, then you're going to get, $250,000 that they paid for your house. That's going to get transferred into your account immediately, and it's going to show up as XRP. And then once it's XRP, then you can change it into other digital currencies, or you can transfer it into, the new USN. But the total volume has to increase because it has to be equal to the amount of currency. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Because I've been trying to wrap my mind around that, how people that haven't, so the people that have invested and when it goes up will get a big dividend from that?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, think about what is Bitcoin right now? It was like 120,000. I think it's sitting right at 107,000. Well, what if you bought XRP at $2, right? I think it's sitting at 3 now. We use 2 for easy rounding. If you bought it at $2 and you bought 1,000 coins, at $2, that's $20,000, right? What if it goes up to $100? What if it goes up to $1,000 a coin, right? You're going to reap the benefit of that. The people that have never purchased it, they're not going to reap that benefit. They're just going to get $250,000 worth of XRP transferred into their account. You know what I mean? So it'll be at a fractional basis, if that makes sense.
It sure does. It sure does. It clears it up for me because I've been trying to figure that out and it wasn't making sense. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you, Cal. All right, Laura, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, Dallas. Hi, Jenny. Say, I have a couple
Hello.
questions and one comment. So my first question is about Social Security. For those of us who haven't gone and opened our account, I am 64, and I could get it at 65, but technically full retirement age is 67. So what happens for those of us who don't go ahead and get it right now?
Then your overall bank of money will exponentially increase. So when you go to pull it out, instead of, the average Social Security check in the United States today is just under $2,000. It's like $1,925 or something like that is the average. That bucket that will spit out your average will exponentially increase. So instead of $2,000, you might get $5,000. If you waited to 67, because that's what they're pushing you to do, then it may be 7,500. But it should just exponentially increase your bucket, which is what spits out your monthly payment.
So you don't think that they'll give us that amount within that lump sum they've been talking about when it comes to the restitution or reclamation, et cetera? That's an extra question. Sorry.
I don't think so because of your age. I mean, you might get a lump sum as far as interest and stuff paid, but I think as far as the Social Security, I think when you turn it on, you'll just get a bigger monthly benefit.
Okay, and now my second question is about many of us signed up with you to potentially be a wealth manager. You still gonna do this with being a movie star and everything? That's my second question.
Well, I mean, yes, because I am, if I'm anything, I'm a person of my word. And I have made a commitment. What I am doing right now is I'm working on building a team. So will I physically be doing most of the work? Probably not. Will I be a part of some of the calls? Absolutely, right? To make sure that you know that you're working with my team and that you're working with people that I trust. But I fully intend to honor those promises, because I think a person is only as good as their word. And I've made my, I've given you guys my word, so I'm going to honor that. My primary focus is going to be my ministry, but a very close secondary. So basically, I'm going to be running multiple offices out of my main office, right? So I'm going to have one entire division of people that are doing nothing but contacting everybody that's emailed me and reached out to me and setting up those appointments and connecting them with the right people. And then I'm going to have a completely different group of people focusing on growing my ministry and expanding it and allowing us to travel the world to share the gospel, the good news. So, but I plan to keep that commitment, because again, I'm a person of my word, and I've made my word. I've given you guys my word. So.
Okay, great. And then just one comment, just wanted to let you know that others in crypto say that we will get paid in RULSD, which is pegged to the dollar. So instead of crypto, when I forget what that lady's question was on getting paid out from something, probably the RV. But anyway, that's what we're kind of been told, because the Iraqi dinar is pegged to XRP, but I still think it's the RULSD, but I could be wrong, but just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, but either way, you'll be able to transfer it to, if it comes in XRP, you could put it in RSULD, or if you get RSULD, you could convert that to XRP if you wanted to.
Yes.
Buy a car, right? Because the XRP will be the transferring mechanism, but there'll be several, digital coins. And what I understand is that every country will have their own, right? So if you travel to Russia and you want to convert some of your money into Russian rubles, then it's going to convert digitally to the Russian digital coin, right? Whatever that's called, and vice versa. If there's, somebody from Russia that comes to the United States and they want to convert some of their money into our money on the digital side, it will convert to the USRLD. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes perfect sense to me. Just want to clear that up for everybody a little bit, or make it muddier. Ha ha ha. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. All right, here's a couple questions on the wall, Dallas. This is from Renee. I've heard Trump signed an EO that we will be able to hold precious metals, real estate, etc. in our 401ks come February 2026. I wish it was sooner. I hope to be retired by then. Have you heard of that too?
Well, I know he signed an executive order giving us access to cryptocurrencies, right? XRP, RSULD. I would love for gold and silver. That's been one of my hiccups, my almost 15 years in the financial world. Gold and silver have been so regulated and so hard to deal with from the regulatory agencies, that no broker in the financial planning facility operates in gold and silver, right? We were taught, no, gold and silver is a dead asset. Don't let your people invest in it. I begged and begged. I've begged for the last 5 years that for one of my brokers, make me an option. Give me an option for gold and silver, especially with rollovers. And I could bring you, literally hundreds of millions of dollars, and they just won't do it. And I begged and begged and begged. So we've been forced to go outside, right? Go to Miles Franklin, and other companies like that. But yes, I believe that that's part of the solution. And what will be cool is once we go once we go asset backed or digital or precious metal backed, currency again, gold and silver are going to be pegged at a very, very good price. So if you have that, that'll basically replace cash in your 401k. So instead of putting it in cash, you can put it in gold and silver, and it would just be locked right at that price, and it will be stable. It won't be, it won't go up and down. It will just be right there. So I believe that's part of the upcoming, if not already, it'll be part of the upcoming executive orders.
Thank you, Dallas. Okay, here's another one from Red Hat. I have heard different things on the Boulevard. As far as you know, will the rates be the same regardless if they are digitales or sombreros?
What I was told, and again, from somebody that is from Venezuela that has contacts in the military and the government of Venezuela, that it was going to be a straight exchange. It didn't matter the year, it didn't matter the denomination. It's going to be a straight exchange. No adding, subtracting zeros. None of this. If it's a 2017, you're going to get 32 cents. If it's 2018, AB, you're going to get 19 cents. If it's a BB, you're going to get 49 cents. Because I mean, how complex? It's just too complex. Because Venezuela, they just released new currency. They whopped off 6 zeros and they released new currency in Venezuela that are basically like 5, 10s, 20s, and 100s, right? Well, they're still inflated because you still need, 5 million Boulevard to buy a loaf of bread. But now you just have a $5 bill that's equivalent to 5 million, right? So it's just, I was told it was going to be straight. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But either way, it's going to be a fairly substantial, gain based off of how cheap those currencies are. That particular currency is.
Thank you, Dallas. And then the last one here that I see on the wall, it's from Texas Artists. What are your thoughts on the timing of the internet group?
What we call Tier 4B.
Yeah.
Not before the end of September, from what I'm hearing. Probably more into the October, November range. And I know that probably crushes a lot of people's hearts because it crushed mine. But between now and the 15th is what I'm being told the money should start moving at the highest levels. And it will just take some time to get down. But once it starts moving, I mean, once it starts moving, once they release the funds, they can't plug the hole, right? I mean, have you guys ever, this might be an analogy that some can't fathom, but have you ever been standing next to a dam when they open the flood valve and the water comes shooting out the backside of the dam and it shoots out like 200 feet because of the pressure, right? That's basically what's going to happen. When they officially release the funds, it's going to come flooding out of the backside of this financial dam. And there's nobody on this planet that can that can plug that back up, right? And we just have to, we're going to have to be patient and let it trickle its way down to us. But I think possibly by the end of September, but I think more realistically is October, maybe into the early November time is what I am hypothesizing.
I've been hearing that too. Okay, thank you, Dallas. All right, Love Warrior 1717. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. And everybody, feel free to raise your hand. Dallas is here for 90 minutes. We got another 30 minutes. So let's go. Go ahead, Love Warrior.
When you were talking about the Social Security, like I'm 63 going on 64, but I hadn't taken it and I was going to wait to the beginning of the year. Do you think, I mean, if we go ahead and take it at one value, will we be able to get the higher value when it comes out?
Everybody will get an increase because they've been stealing money. I read an article the other day that the Clinton presidency, they started siphoning money out of Social Security to rebate every state the CPS, Child Protective Services. They were taking money out of our Social Security account to rebate those states for taking kids out of the homes. All right. And it's connected to the Clintons. So we know that was partially child trafficking, but they have been siphoning money out of Social Security for decades. And that money is ours. That's money that we worked and put in there forcefully, right? I mean, we were forced to do it. So part of this reconciliation is rectifying those thefts. the police and fire unions that have had their pensions stolen by their state governments, the electrician unions and things like that, the co-ops. I mean, they've had money stolen from them without any recourse. Those are going to be refilled. So everybody that's on Social Security will get an extended benefit or an increased benefit, from what I understand.
Yeah, because it's just hardly enough right now. That's why I hadn't taken it.
Yeah.
Just, and I've already made too much money this year. I'd be paying them. So
Don't do that.
right.
Thank you, love
Thank
warrior.
you.
All right, Chief Tess, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Yes,
probably
greetings, Dallas. Love and blessing to you and yours. I have a question. I'm a retired Navy wife of 20 years. My husband passed. We adopted 2 of our grandchildren, and they are getting Social Security along with mine. They're sharing my husband's with me. So how does that work with the Doge payment?
I don't know how it will work with the Doge payments and the tariff rebates, but you should get an extended benefit from your husband, which will then trickle down to all of you. But I don't think the children will get them, because my understanding is that you have to be of working age to receive those. But once they become eligible age-wise, then they should be able to receive the Doge or tariff rebates as well, right? You got to remember, back before the Federal Reserve, going back pre-1913, our country survived and flourished off of tariffs. There was no income tax. And they realized that they were losing a lot of money by not taxing all of us on our income, even though it's unconstitutional and illegal. And so when the Federal Reserve was created, they stopped the tariff movement, and they went to just collecting our taxes so they could pay off their loan buddies. But you should get an increased benefit from him. The Doge payments, I think, will go to you to begin with. But you'll also get, credits for your adopted children. So you'll get even more money that way also.
Well, I want to tell you, you are absolutely correct. This system was stealing these kids. They had 8 families trying to steal my grandchildren as if I didn't exist. So actually, a social worker actually stepped up and said, what about the grandmother? So yes, they do steal these children so they can give more money. And they did give me money. I get adoption assistance. What they were stealing from people's Social Security. You are correct about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Thank you, Chief Tess. Thank you, Dallas. All right, S. Gran, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, Dallas. Good to hear you. You and Jenny both. Love you both. My question is, I saw a post about the first, I'm a senior citizen, I get Social Security, and I saw a post about beginning September 1st, the Social Security payments are going to come out differently. And also, if you have disability, that also will be different. They're going to pay on different days. And anyway, I just wanted to hear if you know anything about that or your thoughts on that.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers that is when all of this shifts, right? Especially on the Social Security and disability side. All these added benefits and these these larger payouts that we thought were going to happen 2 months ago. We thought were going to happen last month. We thought were going to happen this month. I'm hoping that the September 1st, because Trump has talked greatly about September 1st being a kind of a windfall. I'm hoping that this is the beginning of that transformation. But we just have to wait and see, like we have for the last couple months.
Did that answer your question, Gran?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Lee in HK, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Lee in HK, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. All right, everybody, if you request a mic, please be mindful. Dallas is on a time frame, 90 minutes, so try to respond. So I'm going to go on to the next. There's no other hands. Anybody want to ask Dallas a question? Please feel free to raise your hand. I know I saw Biker Babe up here somewhere, but I think she dropped down. But yeah, everybody, please raise your hands if you have a question. I don't see any questions on the wall. Do you want to touch base on something else, Dallas, while you're here, while we wait for some hands?
Yeah, I just, kind of based on that last question, Trump has mentioned September 1st a lot here recently. And what I was told was that Trump really wanted all this stuff this month, right? I mean, I was very optimistic about August, and a lot of that came from Trump himself, right? I mean, some of the things he said about August, I think 15th was a big day for him. And I think, they have finally, hopefully gotten, I mean, every day, right? I mean, all this stuff coming out with Tulsi Gabbard and all this stuff coming out with RFK Jr., all this stuff coming out with Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, and all like Pete Hegseth, Tom Homan. I mean, the corruption is it's mind blowing how corrupt our government has been for so long. And it's flooding out. And would I have loved for this to come out 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago? Absolutely. But it seems to me that they finally have all their ducks in a row. And we have to remember, Trump was impeached twice, twice off of this Russia hoax. And we now have knocked down, drag out, dead proof that it was Obama, his entire administration, the Clintons, both of them, and everybody at the highest levels of the FBI, DOJ, NSA. I mean, everybody was in on this. And if they can impeach Trump over something that has now been proven to be 100% a complete fabrication and lie, well, then all the rest of those jackasses are on the chopping block. And we're hearing so much stuff coming out of these congressional hearings. Finally, they're actually getting something done, and it's just it's my handcuffs and perp walks thing, right? I mean, I just randomly said it one time about 2 years ago on a show, and it took off and it trended on X for a while. But I think we're getting to that stage, and I think they finally have enough of their ducks in a row that we can really see people held accountable. And that has been part of the problem, is that there's still so much corruption. And I think I said it the last time we were together, but the cabal, the bad guys, the black hats, the 13 bloodline families, like however you want to reference them, they have had absolute control of this country and the world, to be honest with you, for hundreds of years, if not maybe 1,000 or more, right?
Yeah.
And am I frustrated that it's taken 10 years, from the time Trump, walked down that escalator in 2015? Yeah, I'm frustrated, but at the same time, they're trying to unravel hundreds of years of corruption and control, and we're finally starting to see it, and it's coming. I mean, it is a deluge, right? I mean, it's a huge amount of information, and these people are going to be held accountable, but it's taken so much time to get all this stuff. There's supposed to be. Sorry, go ahead.
This real quickly, Dallas, is why people have to be patient. I get it. They hate it when, in this sense, they hate that word, but you're not going to unravel all those years, hundreds of years in a day, in a night, in a week, in 4 years. So, what Trump has done, he has set the stage for the rest of these people to get arrested. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but it's on Donald Trump's Truth Social. He is calling for the arrest of George Soros and his son. So everybody, that is huge. I don't think I've ever seen Trump call for the arrest of somebody just yet. But I think come here September, we're going to start seeing a lot of good stuff in that regards for the public consumption, because we know a lot of these people behind the scenes I believe have already been apprehended, because you cannot tell me there's over 500,000 plus sealed indictments that they just all of a sudden opened them up, and one indictment contains up to 99 people. They've been working on this for a while, everybody, so don't think for a hot second many of these people haven't already been apprehended. So I just wanted to add that to what you're saying. So get excited, everybody.
And that's where I was about to go. There's all kinds of talk now about the guy, and I just lost his name, that's about to start releasing these indictments. and they have done a full-blown internet scrub of this guy. I mean, they have blacked out, deleted, removed, just bleach washed everything in regards. And I wish I'd have to go find the article where I saw his name, but there's an insider, a DOJ insider that is ready to release the indictments. That is huge, right? What happened to Durham? Where's Durham? Well, I mean, we did that for 5 years, right? Well, he didn't just quit, right? He didn't take an extended vacation. The guy's been working his tail off, and I agree 100%, Jenny. I think we're about to see just this uncorking of truth, and it's there's so much of it that is going to that's why it's taking so long, right? They have to rip it out.
So basically, everybody, it's what we've been screaming for however many years you've been in this movement, right? For those people that are over there on X saying we're now the news, we're the ones that you come to, bullshit. We've been screaming this for years. Where the hell were you? You see these people popping up. That's another thing to look for, everybody. See these people popping up. And then their disturbers are coming into these spaces, whatever it is. All of a sudden, they have these no followers to these big followers. These people are seeing this movement to be a thing, and they're popping up left and right. So be careful, everybody. People that are screaming stuff that we've been screaming 5, 6, 7 years ago, they're full of shit. And it's like, where were you when we were saying this and you were calling us all these conspiracy theorists? That's not true. Everybody, our vindication is just right around the corner. It's already happening, everybody. I mean, kudos to Derek Johnson. I tell him this all the time. His vindication has been happening here now for a little bit. So pat yourself on the back because you're still here. I want to say congratulations to you. We're not done because our work just begins on the other side of this. But you hung out, you stuck and stay, everybody. So good job with that. So hey, I've got 3 more questions here for you, Dallas. If you can take them, can you take them?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Karen B, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, Dallas, it's been a while. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Last time I asked you this question, we didn't really know. Have you heard anything about the Indonesia rupiah?
Again, not a fixed price or anything like that, but it's definitely. I mean, it gets talked about all the time now, right? I mean, it was one of those currencies you heard about every now and then. I hear it all the time now. It's going to be good, right? I mean, how good? I don't know, but I go back to what I've said for the last month or two. If we walk in and they give us 10 or 20 cents for every dollar of foreign currency we have, it's going to be a huge windfall, right? It may not be the billions and billions and billions that maybe we've dreamed of, but it's going to be millions and millions of dollars based on, again, I don't know how much you paid for your rupee, but they're not expensive, right?
Right. Very cheap.
So you didn't buy one of them, right? You bought a couple hundred, or you bought 1,000. And I don't tell me what you have, but it's like the Boulevard, right? I mean, at one point, the Sobranos, the Millions, they were selling for 49 cents a piece. Well, nobody bought one, right? I mean, okay, I can get rid of $10, right? Well, $10 bought you a bunch of them, right? Well, if you get 20 cents for each one of those values, right? 20 cents times a million, man, that's a big number, right? And you don't have one of them. You have dozens, if not hundreds. So I don't have a fixed price, but I believe it's going to be good, and I'm almost positive, 99.999% positive it's in the first basket.
Yeah, I was listening to someone yesterday and they were talking about they have a metal over there that we could use over here. And it's very rare. So that's why I asked. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. All right, Cassandra, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Cassandra.
Yep. I'm here. First and foremost, just want to send prayers. If you can send us prayers here in Minnesota. Tim Walz just made a statement that we need to create a safe place in Minneapolis to be a safe haven for all trans community. So just keep your prayers alive on that. Domain. Dallas, question for you. There's a lot of different thought process out there about redeeming with SKRs. That if there is no proof of an SKR, that it is not going to be accepted when we go to the RV, that it's a market of acceptance, and that anybody that does not have an SKR or contract will not be served. Do you have any thoughts or comments on that? And that's my only question. And then just to confirm, you said October we're looking at our internet going. Is that correct?
Possibly. I mean, I think at the earliest to be late September, but I think hopefully we'll be running, full speed into October, November. Is my best guess. I oh, the SKR talk. I have very mixed opinions on this because I'm a part of a particular group that swears up and down if you don't have an SKR, you're not going to be able to redeem. I think that's horseshit. It doesn't track at all with the millions and millions of people in the United States that have foreign currency and or around the world, right? You're going to tell me that the people of Iraq can't redeem their currency because they don't have an SKR in their own country, or the people that have fled Iraq for persecution reasons, and they're in the UK, the United Kingdom, or they're in the United States and they have Iraqi dinar, they're not going to be able to walk into a bank or a redemption center and exchange that for a stated rate on the Forex because they didn't join a big agricultural group that gave them an SKR. It makes zero sense to me. I broached this topic a while back, a couple months ago here. If that's the case, then I will bring you a solution. I don't think it's the case, but if that is the case, and that's what is needed, there's a way it can be done, and I will tell the whole world about it. I just don't think it doesn't make sense to me, because in my opinion, it's not fair, right? If it's a stated rate on the Forex and I have a currency, then I should be able to go to the airport, to the currency exchange booth in the airport, and exchange my currency. Just like if I went to Iraq and I exchanged US dollars for Iraqi dinar while I was there, and then I just forgot to I forgot to re-exchange it, and I came back to the States with a handful of dinar. You're going to tell me that I can't go exchange it now that the dinar is worth 5 times what I originally got for it because I don't have an SKR? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I have heard it more in the last 6 months than I had heard it up to this point. But if that is the case, I will figure it out and I will bring a solution to the table to everybody that can hear my voice. And that I promise you, I will do.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. I mean, reality is that's going to knock out about 96% of people. That will leave a very short, limited amount of people that will be able to go and redeem after 26 years of going through this. So,
right. Which is why it makes no sense to me. and I believe, I won't use the word fear mongering, right? Because I got yelled at one time because I used that in reference to this topic. But I believe that the same people, the same groups that are saying that are the ones that are trying to aggregate these currencies, because one of the truths of this exchange is the more you have of a particular currency, the better chance you might have of getting a slightly higher rate. And so these groups are trying to aggregate as much dinar, as much dong, as much zim, as much bolivar as possible, because they believe that they can get a better rate. But if you're not privy to one of those groups, and most of those groups have been closed for 10 years, right? I mean, if you didn't get into the Admirals group 10 years ago, well, then you haven't been let back in, right? I mean, so it makes zero sense to me that that's how they would do this, because one, it doesn't seem fair, but let's be honest, fair doesn't necessarily move these people that are corrupt, but it doesn't seem legal to me. If it's a legal currency that has changed in value, I should be able to exchange it for the new value, period. But like I said, if I find out that that is true, I will bring a solution, because there is one out there. I will bring a solution to the table, and I will guide you through that.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Cassandra. All right, let's see who's next. Patriot Foot, you still here? Go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so
Hello.
much for what you do. I appreciate it. Cassandra, thanks for reaching out to me about the Wyoming LLC. I do have a couple more questions if I can get back with you on that through messaging.
You bet.
Dallas, oh, sorry.
Yes.
So ironically, about the time that people are speculating the RV is going to go through, either way, whatever. I have an inheritance that should be settled by October, possibly. So can I reach out to you with some questions?
Yes. If you send me an email at Dallas, DALLASPPN at Gmail, and in the subject put inheritance questions,
Perfect.
that will stand out to me, and I can reach out to you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Patriot Foot. All right, Trump Girl, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Trumper Girl. Sorry, Trumper Girl Roxy, your mic is unmuted. Okay. AA Flight 151, go ahead.
Hey, Jenny. Hey, Dallas. I
Hello.
want to say thanks for bringing it all the time. And
Thank you.
the amazing thing is, and this is just for everybody in the chat, right? There are people that you need to just feel a resonance with, of their honesty and their integrity and who they are. And if they've built something on the side that creates an income for them, God bless them. But these folks come on here all the time and bring you the truth, right? They lay it out there and they tell you the truth. Okay, well, what does the Bible say? The truth will set you free. So the most important thing is we are in a continuity of government and a continuity of operation. And anybody that doesn't believe that is a fool. And the reason is because they're slow rolling out martial law right now in the democratic crap holes, pardon the French, in the United States, so that people get used to the idea that our government is now working to become honest at a much less rate than we had before, because all of these bureaucratic crapheads have been stealing from us for more than 100 years. Want to read a good book? Go get Creature from Jekyll Island. It will tell you all you need to know. Dallas is telling the truth, he's bringing the truth, and so is Jenny. So buckle up, Buttercup, because it's coming home. Love you all.
I love that. Thank you, AA Flight 151. That was awesome. All right, let's try Trumper Girl. You're still here? Do you have a question? Do you want to ask Dallas a question? If not, I got to move on. Dallas, how you doing on time, my friend?
I'm good.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm sorry. I hit it by accident.
Okay, no worries. Earl Howell, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Thank you, Jenny.
Of course.
Hey, I've got a question. Maduro, being of Venezuela, has he got anything to do with the reevaluation of the currency starting?
I find it very interesting, the timing of him coming into the forefront of this. I think it is tied to it somehow. I don't exactly know the details, but it does seem very suspicious to me that all of a sudden, the only people to talk about Venezuela are us. And now the whole world is talking about Venezuela on a weekly basis. So I find it very suspicious and very encouraging.
Well, I thank you, man. You take care, and God bless both of you.
You too.
Thank you, Earl. All right. Do you mind? We've got a few more hands that popped up here. Do you mind taking them?
Sure.
You good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. God wins. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys so much. Listen, I just was wondering, I haven't heard anything lately about Pingo. Do you happen to have any clue, Dallas, as to what it would go for, and even if it's even going to go in that first basket? And what was your reasoning behind thinking that we might not RV until October, around the end of September, October? Thank you.
I don't have any specifics on the Pango other than I believe it's in the first basket. I know that they're doing a lot of really cool things in the country, making a lot of strides to get to the digital market and things like that. My rationale, my rationale is just what I'm hearing is that between the September 1st and the 15th is supposed to be a big hopefully the big release at the highest level of the funds on the bond side of things. And I just think I think it will take a few weeks for the system to regulate and to let the money trickle down far enough to where it can be. Trump is asking for billions of dollars up front on the RV to help correct the misuse of our funds and the theft that's taken place from our government. And that's been part of the hiccup, is that he's asking for a whole lot of money up front. and they're going to give it to us, but they're going to give it to us through kind of a accredited loan system, from what I'm being told, so that we can take part and then get on our feet, right? And the tariffs are paying dividends, right? And I don't mean dividends to us. I mean, they're working, they're doing what they're supposed to do, but we're still theoretically, $37 trillion in the hole. And the reality is it's not 37, it's more like 370 trillion because of all the money they've stolen from Social Security, from Medicaid, from Medicare, all these other governmental programs. They have been siphoning money out of them for decades. And that's a part of our national debt. It's not just the 37 trillion that shows up on the debt clock. It's all of those other funds that have been stolen from us. So our debt, our national debt is huge, right? Specifically, if you think that all the currency in the world equals about 6 to 700 trillion, if our national debt is really 370 trillion, our national debt is almost half of the world's gross currency value, right? So there's a big uphill battle that we're facing, and that's been part of the delay, from what I can gather, is that they've been trying to work out those numbers. And Trump is, if you say anything about Trump, he's a negotiator, but he's also a hardball negotiator. And some of the other countries in the world haven't necessarily liked his method of negotiation, but from what I gather, we're getting close to the completion of those things. And I am particularly looking forward, between the 1st and the 15th, of seeing some real money start moving down the system. But I just think it's going to take several weeks to a month or so for it to get to a point where the average Joe Schmo that has currency can go revalue. But I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just trying to set a realistic expectation, I guess, because I have been duped in the past of unrealistic expectations, and I'm just trying to be honest with you guys.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, my thought was, I thought that once our military was going to be out of Iraq, that we would go. And I thought that has already been done. But thank you. I appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah.
Thank you, God wins. All right, Little Bull, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Little Bull.
Hey, Dallas, earlier in the show, when we were talking about crypto, you said something about each person getting 250. I guess that was XRP. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? I don't know if I heard that before.
Well, no, I was using an example of, the question was, people that don't own XRP, how will they get to take part in it? And I was using an example as if you sold your house and the person used digital currency to buy your house. you might receive, if it's $250,000, you might receive $250,000 worth of XRP. So even though you didn't buy XRP, the average Joe Schmo at some point through some kind of transaction is probably going to have XRP in their portfolio. So it was an example. It wasn't a
It's the
statement.
way of the future. You're going to end up with someone way or the other.
Correct. That was my point.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, little bull. All right, Laura M., your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Laura M., your mic is unmuted. All right. Tim, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, this question, I don't know if you follow it that much, is more on the JERREAD side. The part of that is you're supposed to get back all your paid taxes and stuff like that they've taken from you over the years. Now, the point I'm trying to make was I heard during a lot of the people that talk about that was like my mom could actually apply for my dad's, even though my dad has passed, all the stuff that he paid in. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I believe, in the beginning, they were talking about going back like 6 generations. I no longer think that that's typically how it's going to work, but I do believe that you can go back. I think they're going to allow us to go back 1 generation, or particularly a spouse, right? If your spouse paid into Social Security and Medicaid and income taxes their whole life, and that equates to a huge sum of money that I believe that they'll give us, at least 1 generation back, maybe 2, but I don't think it's 5 or 6. I think it's maybe 1 or 2, and I take that a lot from current rules, right? If a husband dies and he has a 401k, it automatically goes to his wife. Well, if his wife is divorced, then it goes to his children, right? But in the current system, the children have to liquidate that thing within 5 years. Well, now you're crippling them in taxes, right? Again,
Right.
It's a Ponzi scheme for the government to get more money through taxes. So I'm using that current rationale in regards to these funds that have been stolen from us for our whole lives. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. All right, Colorado Mama, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Afternoon, Dallas.
Hi.
I'm hearing through the wires that by the 15th of September that we're supposed to have about 27 different programs starting September 15th. That would be not called NESARA, but they will be actually NESARA. Are you hearing anything like that?
Yeah. So, a great question. So how does all this money get given back to us, right? It kind of goes along with the last question. How does that money get given back? Is it going to be given a big lump sum? Is it going to, are you going to wake up and you're going to have, $10 million in your account and you're 25 years old? Like, that would be pretty damning to most 25-year-olds, right? So what I'm learning, and it's a learning process, is that there's something like 260 NESARA and JERREAD programs that are going to be rolled out over the next 5 to 10 years. And that's how they're going to kind of divvy out these funds, right? All of these corrupt business owners, Bill Gates, for example. Bill Gates owns more farmland in the United States than any other individual or entity outside of the Chinese government. Well, he's a corrupt piece of garbage. Well, if all of that land and all that money gets confiscated through the executive orders that Trump signed, almost 8 years ago, well, how does that get, repatriated? I think I just made up a word, but how does that get given back? I think it goes through these NESARA. Yes, it goes through NESARA and these programs, and there's going to be so much education that has to be rolled out when this really goes into effect. What is digital currency? What is the QFS? How do we transfer money? What are smart contracts? How do we get this money back? Like, okay, I got this check. What is it for? So yes, Colorado Mama, I think that's what I'm hearing too, is that they're going to start slow rolling these programs that is all designed to give the money back to we, the people, the citizens of the United States. And I've been told that it's going to be a 5 to 10 year process. But it's purely logistics more than anything else. It's not that they don't want to give the money back. They just need to make sure they do it in a systematic, trackable way. I hope that makes sense.
And also too, don't forget, we've got all this gold, and this tariff thing is all a part of it as well. Look what I just posted on the board, everybody, from Captain Kyle's page. It's Kelly posted it on their page last night, but it talks about, Elon and Trump working simultaneously. Leading report says, breaking, President Trump announces Americans may receive a dividend funded by tariff review. Elon Musk says there will be a universal high income, not merely basic income. Everyone will have the best medical care, food, home, transportation, and everything else. So, everybody, it's coming. Just be patient. I know Dallas has given us an extra 11 minutes of his time, and he's got his kiddos there at his house. So, Dallas, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Maybe you'll have that star on the Hollywood Boulevard Walk of Fame.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll happen 2 weeks, but maybe one day.
I'm kidding. So yeah, in 2 weeks we'll see you back here.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it. Thanks, Jenny.
All right, sweetie. It was good to see you. Congratulations on everything. And everybody, come back to my X account on at Jenny_Dreed, and let's give Silk some support for her movie. And let's just have a good time. She's a ball of fun. So thank you, Dallas. God bless you, everybody. We'll see you later if you come and join us. Otherwise, we'll see you here tomorrow for SG and On, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless you all. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.